Hi, this is Burns Hargis with another edition of Inside OSU, and you're going to love this one. Today, as our guest, we have the one and only new basketball coach of the Oklahoma State Cowboys, Brad Underwood. Brad, welcome, a belated welcome to Oklahoma State.
Well, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm very excited and looking forward to a long stint here in Cowboy Land.
If we can maintain this excitement, we're going to fill this place up like the old days.
Well, that's the plan. That's the plan. It's been a wonderful welcome, and it's been a great first month in terms of getting to know the Cowboy faithful, the fans.
You've been everywhere.
We've tried. We've still got a few places to go yet, but we made our trip out to Altus and had a great trip there, and then we've been burning up the recruiting trail, and that's ultimately what.
That's the name of the game this time of year.
Yeah, we've got to find good players, and we've got our staff hired, and those guys have been doing an unbelievable job of.
Well, tell us first about your family.
Wife of what will be 28 years. It's 28 years.
Better get this right, Brad.
Yeah, I better not mess that up. She's the true champion of the family. She's
from Kansas, right?
She's from Salina, Kansas. Kansas State alum. We met our senior year in college, and then we have three wonderful children. Tyler, who will be transferring to OSU.
Yeah, he played for you, didn't you?
He played for me. He redshirted this past year. He had a severe knee injury in the spring of his senior year, tearing an ACL.
Is he as good as you were?
No. Now, he'll disagree with that and say he can outshoot me with his eyes closed, but no, he's a terrific shooter and an outstanding young man. I'm very proud of him and his commitment to basketball. And then I have daughters, Katie, who is a 10th grader right now, so she'll be at the high school level as a junior, and then a daughter who is going to be a 9th grader. So they're both extremely active in sports and soccer, golf, cheer, dance, and Susan is a very good mother who does a great job of chasing them around and keeping them on task, and along with keeping me on task.
You know this, but the audience may not, that you grew up in McPherson, Kansas, right? Not that far from Salina. And then you went to K-State and played basketball, but you were actually recruited by OSU.
Yeah, absolutely. I was born and reared in McPherson, Kansas. My father was in the insurance business there. My mom still resides there. My father's deceased, and I still have a brother that lives there. So it's still considered home. And then went to Kansas State, played for legendary coach and Hall of Famer Jack Hartman, who has a lot of OSU ties.
Played for Henry Iba, didn't he?
Back to Coach Iba, and was very fortunate to meet Coach. And in my 2 years there with Coach Hartman, he came to practices every year, and then.
But talk about being recruited by OSU and why you didn't come.
It was the summer of 1980 or spring of 1984, and took a visit. And one of OSU's players at that time, who's made a very big name for himself in the coaching world, Bill Self, was my host, and loved it here. Really had a great visit. Bill was actually a better host than I give him credit for, but. Chose not to come. Very, very matter-of-factly, it was Paul Hansen was the coach, and he was going to retire.
Yeah.
And did not feel like I wanted to play for a coach that I didn't know, and what would have been my senior year. But
when did you decide you wanted to go into coaching?
Shortly thereafter. It was a passion. It was something, and I think that's one thing that all young people should have as a passion. And I knew I wasn't going to play, and how to channel my desire for the game, my love for the game, and basically became a teacher and a teacher of basketball. And
that's really what a coach is.
Absolutely, and it was about helping young people. And I knew I didn't want to do it at the high school level. I felt like I'd best be served at the collegiate level, and been very fortunate now, 29 years of
reel off some of it. Where all you been?
My first stop was at Hardin-Simmons University as a graduate assistant, and in Abilene, Texas. They were Division I at the time. 5 years at Dodge City Community College, which I was very, very fortunate to be a head coach at an extremely young age, and realized then that I didn't know very much. 10 years as an assistant at Western Illinois University in Macomb, Illinois. 3 years back at Daytona Beach Community College as a head coach, and then 6 at Kansas State, and 1 year at South Carolina. Then 3 years as a head coach at Stephen F. Austin, and
I know there were other schools that were interested in your services. What attracted you to Stillwater and Oklahoma State?
Well, this was actually pretty easy, and I go back to as a young boy in the Phillips 66 Raycom Game of the Week, and watching those games, and you cut your teeth. I cut my teeth on this league. I knew everything about this league. I had tremendous appreciation for the arenas, the great coaches that were here. Then as a player to be fortunate to come here and play, and then again as a coach and as an assistant coach, and had tremendous respect for Eddie Sutton and 806 wins and the job that he did here, and then have tremendous value in this arena. It is the rowdiest arena in America, and I know how intimidating that was as a player, and you were in awe of it as an opposing coach. You came in here, and I can remember telling Frank, "Wait till you see this place," and then that name Iba.
Talk about, for those of us that aren't real basketball people, what is unique about the Iba, Hartman, Sutton lineage that is different from other styles of basketball that have been successful?
Well, I think Coach Iba was one of the ultimate teachers of the game, and he did it with discipline, and he did it with toughness. He's one of the first guys to say, okay, we're not going to let you score. We're going to work exceptionally hard on the defensive end. We're going to make it extremely difficult for you to score. Well, Jack Hartman, Eddie Sutton, you go right on down, his son Mo, all of those people then have branched off, and then it's a group of coaches that came in and wanted to learn from him and do it his way because of the success that he had and the championships he won. But he was
what are the elements to their teams? I mean, what
discipline, toughness. I think there's a tremendous amount of fundamental things that are based on effort, on maximizing your ability to
get rebounds, take care of the ball,
rebound the basketball. Then it translates to offense, and it's about good shot selection. It's about the old adage, the closer you are to the basket, the better chance you have to score. That still holds true today.
Talk about your staff.
I'm very fortunate. I'm excited about this group of guys, and it starts with Lamont Evans. Lamont's a guy that I've been around. I've known Lamont 10, 11, 12 years, and he was a great player. He played at Drake, then spent 9 years overseas playing professionally, and is from South Florida. We hired him at Kansas State, was there with him, was on staff with him at South Carolina. Extremely intelligent guy. He's an unbelievable teacher, and he's a tremendous recruiter. Mike Boynton. Mike is a young man that is from Brooklyn, New York. Was a great player in New York City. Played at Bishop Laughlin High School, just a tradition-rich program there. Was a very good point guard at the University of South Carolina. Was on staff at South Carolina. He was actually on the staff that we replaced there. But has been all up and down all over the East Coast, and then I hired him at Stephen F. But a wonderful coach, and
apparently probably knows the Texas recruiting.
He's got a very good handle on that. And then Danny Henderson. Danny is a 700 plus wins as a high school coach in the state of Texas, and
was he Forte's coach?
He was Phil Forte and Marcus Smart's coach. Won 4 state championships there. As good an X and O guy, as good a worker and recruiter. as I've been around. I've really gotten to know Danny through the recruiting process of those guys back in the day, and then we talk X's and O's in basketball a great deal, and so I'm very excited about those guys and what they bring. They're all tremendous people who I enjoy being around every day. They're great family people, and they're going to fit not just our staff, but they're going to fit in the Oklahoma State and Stillwater communities, and they've all got young kids and or kids, and Danny's got one who's graduating from high school this year, but I'm excited to have them in our community.
Now the players, you've inherited some players. Mm-hmm. Talk about them.
Oh, I've been so impressed. It's been a true blessing getting to know these young men. They want to be good. They want to work, and we're talented. They're really good people. That's been my biggest challenge is as a new coach, you throw these young people into a tough environment, and change is difficult sometimes for them. And yet it's my job to get to know them, to try to help them achieve their goals, and to let's figure out a plan to help them get there, and not just individually, but collectively as a group. And the first month has gone as well as I could expect, and I'm excited about getting them on the floor in the fall. We've been on the floor a little bit with individual groups and small groups. We'll continue that through the summer, but this is a group that's really bought into the weight room. They've really bought into our culture, and I've really enjoyed working with them.
What about the facilities?
Oh, nobody beats us with facilities. I can't wait to walk through the doors the first game. And walk on that court, and then obviously the locker room. That's historic. Everybody in basketball at any level talks about this locker room, but it goes beyond that. It's our weight room. It's our people, and we sell people as much as we do facilities, and those are the important things. And a packed Gallagher-Iba Arena, there's nothing better. And that's what we're going to have, and that's when we establish that, we'll become an elite program.
How many scholarships do you have?
We had 13 total, and we'll have 13 guys on scholarship as fall works out. We've got 4 guys that are incoming freshmen that, and we may add 1 or 2 pieces here as we move forward. But I'm really excited about the veterans. I'm really excited about Phil Forte, Leighton Hammond. Those 2 young men as seniors have just grasped the leadership role of this team. And when you get great leadership and you get great seniors and have character guys as we do in those 2, then really anything is possible.
Well, and of course what Lamont Evans was able to do until he got hurt was pretty impressive.
Well, you got a young man in Juwan who is he's on everybody's draft board. Everybody knows about him, and to be freshman of the year in the league, to do what he did against a Final Four team in Oklahoma with a 40-plus point game is very, very rare and very unique, and speaks volumes to his talent. He's been terrific getting to know him. He's such a terrific young man, and his best basketball is still in front of him. And we've got a backcourt with Juwan, we got a backcourt with Phil that I'm awfully excited about, and the rest of the pieces have been working extremely hard as well.
Great. Well, needless to say, we're thrilled to have you at Oklahoma State University.
Well, I'm the one who's very fortunate, and this is a special place, and to be here is with all this support and all the people, and I'm looking forward to the relationships, and that's what makes it special, and we're going to make Cowboy basketball very, very special.
I think you will. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on Inside OSU.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, that's another edition of Inside OSU. We'll see you next time, and until then, let's get rowdy with Coach Underwood.